Hey, hey, you all right? So the plan is we'll walk north to a little place in Linfield and commandeer a boat. From there, we can take the Ipswich River all the way to town. Once we're actually in Ipswich, we can work on getting that sub up and running. Then we'll be ready to go to Buzzards Bay. So, what do you think? In any event, let's get going. You look a little out of it. Hey, wake up. We're here.
Alright folks, this is Modded to Hell. I'm going to be reviewing Journey to Ipswich, mod made by Metal DMz. I'll leave a link to his Nexus page in the description. This is just awesome mod. It takes place outside of the Commonwealth map and totally self-contained. The story is amazing, well thought out. The amount of backstory this guy wrote is just phenomenal. The enemy numbers, the stuff that you'll encounter is so far well beyond the levels that are in the normal vanilla game. I have this other mod that overhauls the Super Mutants, and I love it. It's amazing. And it's funny because you get all these mods and you OP the shit out of your character, your weapons, and but you gotta overcompensate. I mean, you gotta recompensate for other shit. Like you gotta make the enemies harder now. And this mod is a really breath of fresh air when it comes to that. Being overwhelmed by a half a dozen strong enemies at the same time, sometimes more, is pretty incredible. It's funny because I forgot the fact that you have to fast travel to get your companions. So half of this mod, I didn't have any companions for help, but it was cool. These guys are freaking brutal, man. And am I wrong in thinking that they weren't in the vanilla game? They must have, right? I don't know, maybe my memory just sucks, but I had to go through a lot of my ammo. I mean, I had like 900 rounds for this AR, and I got down to like 150 and realized that I had to start using some other weapons. So I started, rotating, and you find a lot of gear and weapons, even power armor while you're on in Ipswich, but I gotta say, it's totally required. I needed a lot of that shit. Luckily, I have that backpack that holds extra weight, so I had plenty of gear and ammo with me when I arrived, but I would suggest getting ready for this journey for sure. Kind of like what I was saying before with all these mods that, that make you more powerful or whatever. I don't use power armor at all if I can help it. Even though I upgraded and have some great shit, but I don't know, I just don't like the HUD, I don't like the movement, I don't like the third person. There's a lot I don't like about it, so what I did was I got these concealed armor mods, so I have all the armor pieces on, and then I got the nano armor mod, and I don't know how, but these thermal armor pieces, I'm wearing those also, even though you can't tell. So I probably have, I should have gone in my menu so you could see, but I probably have like 20 pieces of armor right now. So I got some good defense. And even then, I died. Some guys killed me. Oh, check this guy out. Just falling from the roof. So great. There is a lot of radiated ragstags in this area. It's kind of cool, but they're not a challenge, but I guess they're good for nuclear material for some crafting later. Because like I said, this mod isn't meant to travel back and forth. The mod author put a panic button that you could push to go back to the Commonwealth if you wanted to, but apparently he made that for the consoles because they don't have much control in terms terms of, jumping in and out of areas. But you can use the console command to come back in, but I think it wasn't really meant for that. Yeah, I kind of like that though. It reminds me of some of the New Vegas or even the Fallout 3 mods that I like the ones that man, what was the one in New Vegas? It only let you bring like 80 pounds of gear, so you had to slim down like crazy because the mod was so big and it had so much stuff in it that you were gonna just gear up, It was a good way to start you over. And I really like that mechanic. This didn't do that. Quite the opposite, actually. You probably need to bring a lot of stuff. But I still like the idea of being stuck and having to deal with the situation and the area that you were thrown into. And this certainly does that. This grass is so tall.
The worst news being that I've got a fistful of teeth. While I was scoping the place out, one of the ferals got a bit antsy and nipped my hand. Well, I suppose bit the shit out of it is more accurate. I beat the hell out of him, but I can barely hold my gun. I can still type if I take little breaks. That's what I was doing when you walked in. I was reckless. Usually I don't have too much trouble with ferals. Most ghouls don't. One cache had a device called the Phoenix 2 stem cell imitator. The Phoenix 2 was part of Poseidon's line of regenerative implants. It's more sophisticated and much rarer than the Phoenix 1 monocyte breeder. With it, I've been able to repair my vocal cords and significantly slow down the degenerative effects that radiation decay has had on my brain. In short, I'm becoming more human. And the ferals have noticed.
That's just a taste of the story writing and the voice acting. I'm just impressed, really. One of my favorite parts about that one of those first lines was how he was talking about how ghouls don't really ever have a problem fighting ferals, and that was just so interesting because I don't know if the vanilla story ever talked about that. Like, besides the fact that ghouls live forever or live a long time, how they, if they're extra strong, or if that's just so cool. I mean, it opened up this new line of thinking about how ghouls react to ferals, or like how long it takes for them to turn feral. I don't know, maybe I'm just easily impressed, but I thought that was a really cool touch that fleshed out this character a lot. And basically, every ghoul now, I'm going to be thinking, man, these guys survived forever. It's not only because they won't die, natural causes. It's probably because they're strong or good fighters or know what feral's weaknesses are. Shit, I don't know. Something intriguing about it, though. There's, I don't know if I mentioned this already. I've freaking voiced over my voiceover so many times. The amount of content that was included, like written dialogue and notes and computer entries, is just huge. And if you want to take the time and get sucked into it, you can. And geez, this is over an hour probably of just reading backstory and listening to him describe the backstory of the factions and this company, and it's really intriguing. It's really cool. And there's something I do want to point out, though. The journey to Ipswich, I probably just didn't read some description somewhere, but it's the first half, or first section of a deeper mod story that he wants to tell. A story that involves Buzzard's Bay. Buzzard's Bay is mentioned a lot, even in the first freaking line of dialogue that this guy talks about. And you're like, oh, what's this? And then, come to realize, spoiler alert, that it's not in this mod. I'm guessing it's coming soon. I'm hoping that this is successful. I'm hoping you guys download this. I'm a little behind the times. I'm pretty sure this has been around for a while. MXR showed it in one of his Fallout Mods Weekly episodes, which was awesome. Thank you, dude, because that's how I found about it. It's amazing. It really is. And if you get stuck in there, you can leave if you want with some console commands and gear up or whatever, but you know, if you want to stay immersed, then you're in for a ride. You're going to find lockpick skills are completely necessary. There's so many master and expert locks with safes and ammo containers that you're going to want to get. And you're going to need probably, unless you just have a massive amount of ammo.
Exterior lighting. Wow. Isn't that something? Come on, let's get in there and survey the damage.
I'm just so impressed with the voice acting. It's really cool, man. This guy spent a lot of time reading all this dialogue. I brought these up just so you can tell. God damn it, I got a freaking jet flying over me right now. Okay, let's just leave that in. You can pause it to read those if you want. It's really interesting. The robots on the ground, I gotta say, loot them everywhere. Oh, here's the panic button I told you about right at the end. Don't push that. These robots have a bunch of gear in them, you know, like scraps and all that. And I suggest you loot them as soon as you can, because there's a later point that they'll all come back to life, and then you can't loot them.
Smashed? What, like with a hammer? That is a very big problem.
Okay, we're coming up on the end of my first half here. I just wanted to show you a little bit more. This is basically like a massively long montage of me killing enemies. So I guess minor spoiler location warnings and not weapons, but enemies. And I still don't have my companions. So I'm just like running around like a maniac. The Uguay fight in the tall grass was the most challenging for sure. And I don't use VATS very often, if at all, but I had to use it in some hairy situations. Check out the roads. I have this mod called Realistic Roads, and it makes the pavement darker, and it makes such a huge difference. It's awesome. And I have a mod called New Calibers, and I was able to convert this shotgun from a 12 gauge to a 10 gauge, so the ammo is a little more hard to find. I buy it every time I can, but it's more powerful, which is awesome. And this plasma legendary I added does quick work to these guys. That was another mod, legendary crafting mod.
Excuse me.
Damn, I really need to clean up this cesspool. Ah, there you are. I've got the lists all put together. Which one do you want first?
And that is part of the mission in the later half, is you collecting these, you know, fetch quest items. But I just loved it because this is probably a normal thing too, but each quest brought you to a new location that you probably wanted to go to before, but you didn't want to really ruin the flow. And that's one thing that I suggest actually, is not ruining the flow. There's one mission quest that you have to get a safe, and you have to get like a key or a password or whatever. And if you do it in the wrong order, it doesn't break it, but it will not work unless you do it in the right order. And it's not what we're used to in the Fallout, at least Fallout 4. There's always a quest marker. It's always super easy. There's never really any investigating that you have to do. But this one, you have to use your head and you have to think. And it's not so simple. There's a few of them that are like that, which I like, which is really cool. I mean, you're always looking at that marker. I've seen other people criticize this before. You know, your head's like looking at the radar the whole time. Okay, folks, that brings it to an end. Modded to Hell, bringing you Journey to Ipswich review, part 1 of 2. Leave a comment or like below. Let me know if you have any suggestions, critiques. Alright, bye.
Well, the reactor is definitely on, but without that AI core active, I can't figure out much else.